Make sure that works. That's what we need to do.
Okay. This time I'd like to call to order our 10 June 2024 Jackson County Commission meeting. I'd like to say welcome to everybody that is here. Before we get started, I'd just like to make a note. If everybody would keep Bob Manning and his family in your prayers. This past Friday, Bob had a major heart attack, and they got him to Huntsville Hospital, and they did a med fly to get Bob from Huntsville to UAB in Birmingham. He has had several procedures done. Word I get is he is making some minor progress, and so that's a blessing in itself. So keep Bob and his family in your prayers. With that, I would like to ask Mr. Hemrick, our county administrator, please call the roll, establish your name.
District 1?
Present.
District 2?
Present.
District 3? District 4?
Present.
We do have a quorum. Thank you very much. At this time, if everyone would please stand, I'd like to ask the reporter to offer our invocation, and I'll lead our pledge of allegiance.
Let's pray. God our Father in heaven, we look outside and we see such beauty all around us, beauty in this county and beautiful weather. We're so thankful for these things. We're also thankful for the people of this county because they are what makes this county special. So God, we're thankful for public servants in all areas of government. We're also offering a special prayer right now, God, for our good friend and compatriot Bob Manning. We pray that you'll be with him and guide him and be with those that are ministering to him, those doctors that are taking care of him. Give them wisdom and give them the skill that they need to take care of him so that he can have a full and complete recovery. God, watch over his family who's there with him. Give them comfort and peace and all that goes on. We ask all these things in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Salute. Pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Packet is the agenda for tonight's meeting. We have 6 items in new business tonight to discuss, and then we have several items in our work session. And we will go into an executive session. The purpose of this will be to discuss contract negotiations that we need to have. So with that, do I have a motion to approve the 10 June 2024 agenda?
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Have a second. Any question? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. I don't believe we have any awards or presentations tonight, and I don't think we have any public comment tonight. So we'll go straight into the new business portion of our meeting. Many of these items were discussed in our last work session, and so and we have information in the package regarding each of them. First is we had a request from the Solid Waste Department for the purchase of roll-off dumpsters. You have in your packet a quote from Waste Whip, Sourcewell, and it is to the Solid Waste Department. It is for 5 30 cubic yard roll-off containers, 3 40 cubic yard roll-off containers. The bid, the quote price is $46,190. Do I have a motion to approve the purchase of roll-off dumpsters for Solid Waste Department?
Second.
Have a second. Any questions, discussion? If not, thank you. Item we also talked about in our last meeting was another request from the Solid Waste Department, and it is for the purchase of a service truck. It is a 2024 Ford F-350 Crew Cab 4x4, and it is purchased from Stivers Ford Lincoln, and the purchase price $79,911. Do I have a motion to approve the purchase of a service truck for solid waste department? I have a second.
I'll second.
We have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? All in favor? Well, carries. Thank you. Next is our Parks Department is doing a lot with the amount of park areas that they're taking care of. They have a request to purchase a new mower. It is a be purchased from Tri-Green Equipment, a John Deere mower. It is a Z930, and the purchase price is $12,975. Do I have a motion to approve the purchase of a mower for the Jackson County Park?
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion, have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Next item is, as we look at our 2024 road selections, there was previously a list of roads that was provided by our county engineer, Mr. Campbell, to the commission, and to take a look and travel those roads, I'm sure, and make selections. In your packet is the full list of roads that were off the Public Works Department for consideration. Also in your packet a list of roads that I believe have been considered by the commissioners for selection this year. So I'd like to just have a discussion with that. Commissioners on roads. So, District 1.
My selection for roads, I do have one question. I think I was allotted 3.5 miles for this term. I've come up with 3.4 miles. That leaves me 1/10. Would I be able to carry that over to strip paving?
Yes, we can do that.
Yes.
Okay.
So for 3.4 miles, I'll select County Road 133 in Stevenson, County Road 326 in Flat Rock for 1.2 miles on 133, 1.3 miles for 326 in Flat Rock, 0.6 miles Janelle Street in Bridgeport, and connecting road with that Iris Lane in Bridgeport for 0.3 of a mile.
Okay, so there's 3.4.
Divided evenly between the valley and the mountain.
All right, thanks very much. District 2?
District 2, about 2.5 miles went to County Road 54 in Stevenson area.
Okay. District 3, Commissioner Buckner is asking that 3 miles from Alabama Highway 40 at Palmer, County Road 322 for 1.3 miles of that road. District 4.
Yeah, I selected 103 and Parnell Circle. Also a portion of 175. That's a 5-mile stretch. We're gonna break that up into different sections, and hopefully with strip paving we can go a little bit getting it done.
And this shows 2.4 miles of your 2.66.
That was 2 point. What, John?
Yeah, so that list, there should be a correction on that subtotal to 2.7, which would correct the amount to 189,000 at that extension, and then for the total, that would correct to 695,030. So I would ask that you all, it sounds like we're on target on everything else, but please check your section of that list. My recommendation would be that list accompany the minutes with your vote.
Okay, and you said this would be 695,000?
695,030.
030. Okay. So, list part of the minutes to include 1/10 of a mile strip paving in District 1. Okay. All right, thanks very much. So with that, I need a motion to approve the 2024 county road selections.
Make that motion.
We have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. And later on, we do have $400,000 of delayed exchange funds that has to be applied to major minor collectors. And so I've asked our county engineer to bring back a couple of candidates for consideration for that. And we'll do that in a subsequent meeting. Next in your packet, we have discussed, we ran into an issue with when we with the declaration of a local emergency. Not an issue of declaring it, but the timing, because we had to wait for a full commission meeting. Many cases we have, we grant, commissions grant the chairman the authority declaration so it can be made in as timely a manner as possible rather than having to wait for a commission meeting or an emergency meeting. Discussion we had in the meeting that we did approve our local declaration of emergency was to, it says, establish a resolution giving the chairman the authority to declare an emergency declaration as provided under the Alabama Code 31910. This resolution also provides for, in the case of the absence of the chairman, the vice chairman would have that authority to declare an emergency resolution. The resolution does read, be it resolved by the Jackson County Commission, whereas Code of Alabama 31910 provides that during natural disasters and other situations recognizing similar conditions, the governing body of any county may declare the need for emergency services to be provided by county government and county agencies. And whereas the Jackson County Commission recognizes action must be taken immediately so as to address public needs related to the health, safety, and welfare of the citizens of the county, as well as the protection of public property. In such circumstances, time is of the essence. And whereas the commissioners have determined that based on past experience, the risk to health and safety of the public and damage to public property can be reduced by taking action as quickly as possible. Therefore, be it resolved by the Jackson County Commission as follows. Upon determination by the chairman of the commission that emergency circumstances exist for the declaration by the county commission that an emergency exists as provided under Alabama Code 31920A, that the chairman shall exercise the authority of the governing body of Jackson County to declare that an emergency exists, and that all provisions of Code of Alabama 31910 may be implemented. In the event the chairman is unavailable to make such declaration, the authority to declare an emergency shall be exercised by the vice chairman of the commission. Such declaration of emergency as provided for herein by the chairman or vice chairman shall be effective immediately upon such declaration being made and shall continue until the next regular or specially called meeting of the county commission, at which time the commission will vote to affirm and continue the declaration or to terminate the declaration. Do I have a motion to approve and sign the resolution giving the chairman the authority to declare an emergency declaration as provided under Code of Alabama 31910?
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion. Have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any questions or discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Last item in our new business is a motion to approve award of bid for the sheriff's ballistic detector. Put this out under state bid law, and we got initially one bid in, but the bid exceeded our grant amount. We rejected that bid and we put it back out for quote. In your packet, you see some information regarding the bid. The low bid was from RTS Technical. The total price of that $3,673.69. We got, when we asked for quotes, we got 4 quotes. And this is the lowest price quote. If you'll look at the last sheet in your package, you'll see the 4 companies that bid. The high bid price was $95,000. This, as I said, being the lowest. The protective equipment that we're purchasing includes a level 4 ceramic body armor, 38 quantity, a level 3 plus ballistics helmets, 38 quantity, tactical rapid deployed individual first aid kit, 38 quantity, and level 3 plus rifle special threats mini shields. And again, the quoted price was $43,673.69. With that, let me ask you, are there any questions? If none, do you have a motion to award the bid for the sheriff's protective equipment? Motion, have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries very much. We'll move into the work session portion of the meeting. There are 2 items under commission. Every year, with the holiday being either July the 4th being either a Tuesday or a Thursday, we award either the 3rd or the 5th as an additional holiday employees. The same action is being taken by our neighboring counties as well as the city of Scottsboro this year. And so make a offer for discussion, the granting of this holiday for our county employees. This year, it would be, a holiday would be July the 5th, 2024. We do not have to vote on this today. We can vote on this in our discussion.
I think that's a good idea.
I'm okay with that.
All right, so we'll have it as new business for our next meeting. Again, it's just for discussion. I think we have discussed this before. We believe there's an opportunity to get better rates, interest rates from our supporting banks. And so we would like to open up a discussion with several banks and have that discussion about what are possibilities for rates. Mr. Hamrick brought this up, and I think it's a great idea. Commissioners have mentioned that before. So what we would want to do is start a discussion. Initially, we would just start a discussion with the banks and see what they are. But once we have a feeling for how that goes, we would put out a letter requesting quotes from various banks. And at that point, John, I think we would certainly, whenever that comes in, we get the quotes, we would have to vote on the action to take to change. So, any questions?
I've got one. Is our area banks in our area, are they all locally owned?
That's a very good question, and I don't think they're all locally owned. So we will solicit from across, I think, identifying which our local banks will be important. So.
Just curious, I think.
No, I think a very good question. I think it is. So we will, this will probably take us a little while to do this, get around to the various banks, and it may not be the next meeting, but once we do that, we will then put out a letter requesting quotes from the banks, and that's what we'll bring back to the commission. Okay. Next item in our work session is solid waste. If you remember, we had a truck wreck several weeks ago. It was one of our drivers was trying to avoid a driver who had pulled out in front, and so he avoided a serious accident, but in doing so, I think the truck turned over. So let me turn it over to Director Skipper.
Yes, sir. First, I wanted to thank y'all for approving that service truck. That's much needed, and the dumpsters. But as Mr. Dance stated, on May 20th, we did have a wreck. It was a driver had got over in our lane, and he couldn't avoid it. He kept easing over. We had a witness but the guy kept going, and so he got off and hit a tree. And the truck is now totaled. Insurance called me last week to give me a kind of a heads up. They're still doing the paperwork because it costs so much. They told me that it's going to bring anywhere from $250,000 to $260,000. But right now we do not have a truck. Our other truck that we purchased for a backup, we had a minor incident about a month ago, and it's in Tuscumbia right now getting repaired. But it's going to be at the earliest early August till we get that truck back. We rented a truck. We had a company that we bought a truck from before to help us out, to get us by, and they come pick that truck up today because they have sold that truck. So we do not have a truck as of today to get front load dump garbage. So I've worked to get this truck here. This is a Peterbilt that we actually have one, a sister to it. You should have it for you. A sister truck to what we already have. It's on the lot, it's ready to go, it doesn't have to be built. All we gotta do is give them a check and we'll get it. You can see the price of what it costs. I'm looking at $250,000 to $260,000 for what we get out of the other truck. It's gonna cost us anywhere from $143,000 to $133,000 to buy this truck. And this will be a new Peterbilt Howell garbage truck for front load.
See, it has a 5-year warranty.
Yes, sir. It has a 5-year, 150,000 mile engine, and then a 5-year unlimited 5-year unlimited mile transmission warranty.
The truck that wrecked, what year was it?
It was a 2020.
How many miles did it have on it?
I'm not certain.
It's the one that was wrecked and we repaired before.
Correct.
So are you needing this tonight?
Yeah.
Immediate need, you want to set aside the rules?
Yeah, I would ask y'all to set aside the rules so we can get this truck tomorrow. If not, we can't get garbage.
Just one other question on the wreck going back there, are we still pursuing litigation on that?
The trooper ruled it the guy's fault, but the guy kept going. We had a witness, but all he could tell was it was this color car. He didn't know exactly what kind of car, it was just this color car. And so it was actually in DeKalb County, right across Jackson County line. And the DeKalb County Sheriff's Office showed up to the wreck, and he said he would, most likely it was a local person. He said, being it's on that county road, he said that if he found anything out, he would let me know, but we've not heard anything.
Okay. Any other questions?
Is this on state bid list? Where'd you get that?
Yes, sir. This is Sourcewell.
Good enough.
Okay. So do I have a motion to set aside the rules?
Make a motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion and second to set aside the rules. Do I have a motion to procure a Peterbilt front-end loader garbage truck for the Service Department? Should I have a second? I'm sorry?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Next item up is an update on County Road 93, and I've also asked Mr. Campbell to give status of strip paving. So, Mr. Campbell?
So the County Road 93, unfortunately, I don't know a whole lot more than you guys did at the last meeting. I have filled in some questions about quantities as far as the price for the different items that they plan to include. I did receive a message that they are still in contact with the sub about the scope as far as verifying scope, and they need those prices and the information from us to complete that. So we received the full list of that request as far as the items today, so we'll turn that around quickly. I did get assurance from Steve that they're working on it and plan to have something soon. So that's the 93 update. The strip patching, we sprayed a test section last week. Commissioner McBride and I were together on one of those days, and Paul, I think also, that test section was calibrated. So we were having some issue getting calibrated after all the resurrection of the distributor truck. And all that went well. We feel good about the equipment now. So it looks like County Road 27 will be a good place to start as far as low traffic and minimal prep work to try to get that going. So we plan to kick that off soon on 27, and then we'll be in touch from your selections that we discussed on moving around the district.
Let me ask a question on strip paving. Is this a year-long that we can do as long as temperatures rise to a certain level?
So specifications are limited to May until October. So they are seasonal limitations. However, those seasonal limitations are based on temperature. So that temperature is not necessarily daytime, but nighttime temp. So when we are in 40s, 50s, even 60s, 60s are okay at night, but 40s and 50s present an issue on overnight with a setting of CRS2. So it's typically May to October. Those limits are suggested for mainline paving. So if we think about mainline paving where it's production style and there are lengths of liquid asphalt sprayed before the aggregate is distributed onto it, there's obviously a time for cooling and a set time that can be incurred where in a condensed operation or a short strip section we could potentially avoid. So we're hopeful that even though we'll be limited in the cooler months on paving, that the prep work could continue. Okay. That is all based around obviously the personnel to handle that operation, which we've had some and now we're down 4. So we'll have to make some tough decisions about what to stop, but we plan to move strip paving forward, obviously.
Just for me, because I don't know it well, but what is the kind of prep work you do for the strip paving? Very similar to.
Yes, sir. So the road reclamation, reprofiling, recompacting, it involves a water. It's a 5-man operation at minimum.
Okay. Okay. All right. Any other questions? So thank you. At that point, that work session comments. I am going to back up. I'm sorry. There is a sheet that you have the cash flow sheet. Because if you look at this, I want to make sure that we have the commissioners up to date on. We had decided that what we were going to do is use our cash balance to provide initial funding for balance. Total right now is current cash on hand and cash balance is $10,976,255. That is about $9.3 million in Fund 001 and $1.7 million in Fund 1. If we look at the projected cost of the slope failures plus what we are doing now with the cleanup from the damage from the tornadoes on the 8th and a couple of programs that we've looked at. County Road 238 at $2.7 million, but about $400,000 of that was in-house, and so contract price was $2.3 million. The last number we heard, and we're using that for the basis of this look at funding, 93, County Road 93 could go as high as $6.5 million, with some of that being in-house work. The tornado cleanup, Jonathan, I put an estimate of $500,000 there. I know Ron, looking at that estimate, was a little lower than that, but for the purpose of this estimate, we'll use that. We had also started the project of looking at consolidating maintenance and the county assessment plan that we have ongoing now. $37,000 for the consolidation project, $37,500 for the county plan. That county plan was a $187,500 project, and so it was funded with from the Department of Commerce, U.S. Department of Commerce, for $150,000. Also, last year, whenever we laid out our work program for 2023, we supplemented the budget for that with $700,000, and that would come out on 112. So with that planning, that's a total of 10 million. So we're gonna have to watch cash flow as we do this, because as we do the slope failure rebuilds, we will have to be submitting our payments to FEMA, and they will, and I guess they and state total, we end up getting about 87% of that funding. You look at the last item with the FEMA reimbursements, after we expend all these funds, with the repayments by FEMA, we would have a back in the general fund cash balance of $8 million. So just want to let everybody know how we would look at funding all this work that we're trying to do. So with that, that concludes the work session portion of our meeting. So at this time, reports from the staff, county administrator.
And just getting acclimated to the position, working with the different department heads, and just trying to get together all this information for you.
Well, Ms. Hammer, we appreciate you being here and being part of this team. So now, county engineers, anything else?
Just a quick update, a large pour scheduled this week on County Road 145. It's going to be a critical pour and component. So after that, it'll just be wings, resetting the girders, and then the remaining wing walls on the west side. So that'll be a big step. The County Road 38 slope failure repair project. So both sites are concurrently working now. The upper section, the first stabilization pass has been done, and the air crews moved in to work on the excavation to make ready for the next step down of stabilization. They're working to stabilize the lower section, the first cut of that. So we're probably in the 30 to 40% range as far as completion on that project. And then also County Road 77, if you saw your email, finished paving last week and shoulder stone completed last week. So the remaining items to work on that will be traffic stripe and markers. And then the only remaining items in the bonding resurfacing projects will be County Road 47 on that final layer of micro. So that'll be upcoming soon. We'll be in front of you soon with a federal aid exchange project selection, as the chairman alluded to. And then your selection tonight gives us the ability to move forward beyond 21 and Lake Boulevard, which are the remaining resurfacing work in addition to 3 and 303. We anticipate 3 and 303 next, possibly as soon as the next couple of weeks. We're working hard on that. Then 21, and hopefully we'll move right into Lake Boulevard and have a quick turnaround. Questions about any projects or ongoing activity?
Jonathan, when will we hear something on that safety grant ballpark?
I don't know on that. I'll look and try to get you an answer on maybe what we could expect.
County attorney.
All right, everything, thanks, sir.
Okay, anyone else, anything? Okay. With that, we'll move to comments from the commission, District 4 Commissioner McBride.
Just like to thank everyone for being here tonight. Thank all of our employees for the hard work and dedication to our county. Great group of men we work with, and hope we can continue to move our county forward. Prayers for Bob and his family, and for those heart attack victims that we had over the weekend. Y'all stay safe, travel home, watch for deer. I hit one this weekend. Don't do that.
District 2, Commissioner Kenner.
Prayers for Bob. I like to say, prayers for Bob.
District 1, Commissioner Gullah.
I'll just echo prayers for Bob and his family. You know, it's man works all his life and retires, and within a week have a heart attack. I mean, you just never know what's coming. I'd like to thank the employees and staff for all that they do and all the hard work that they put in for the citizens of the county. We had a great time last week at Depot Days. There was a pretty decent turnout for that, and you know, just get involved and support your local communities and the events that they have going on.
I too would like to say keep Bob and family We're in as good a shape as we've been in a long time in the county, and Bob was a very, very, very significant cause for the county. And so a lot of credit to Bob for the work he did over the years that he was here as our county administrator. I'd also like to make a note that thanks to everyone that is working with our tornado engineer and public works staff, our EMA folks, and also thanks to Crowder Golf LLC. They were on site this morning as they promised, and they were picking up in the Pleasant View area and going, and they're planning to work, I believe, Mr. Campbell, 7 days a week, night to dark, to get that job done. And so they've started a good job out there, and say thanks to that. Our next meeting date is June the 24th. It will be next time, unless the grand jury holds open for a while. We will be back in our normal meeting area with that. This time we need to go into executive session. As everyone knows, we have been working with contracts with renovation for Libyan Lane and our courthouse structure, and so we need to have an executive session to discuss where we are in negotiations on those contracts. So with that, do I have a motion to move to an executive session? We have a motion, we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you very much for that.